Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and happy Thanksgiving. You know what I'm thankful for? Being done with this long-running video with the fourth and final installment of my thoughts on the sequels of the Disney Renaissance. It's almost over, guys, I promise. So, let's get started with a completely unnecessary sequel, in my opinion, that betrayed everything that the first film was about. Yeah, sure, the sequel still carries on the theme of defying gender roles, and the opening number with Mulan teaching the girls how to fight and protect themselves actually made the film look pretty promising. I was really excited to see what direction this film was going to take. But then, as it went on, it crashed and burned. Mulan in the first film defied gender roles in order to protect her ill father. It was a noble thing for a loving daughter to do. It was understandable. There was a reason behind why she did it. In this film, the three interchangeable princesses defied their roles because they just don't feel like going along with the arranged marriage. We just don't want to do it no more. Blah, 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 blah. Not only dishonoring their family in the process, but putting all of China at risk from attack. They're supposed to marry this, like, one of the sons of this other empire because they're gonna form a union in order to protect themselves from an impending attack. Although, there's just no threat, no risk in this film. Like, I never felt like there was this impending doom coming along at all. And those reasons right there highlight my biggest issue with the film. It's weak writing. Mulan defying gender roles in the first film was a selfless act. She did it to protect her father. The three interchangeable princesses defying gender roles in this film was a selfish act. They just didn't want to follow through anymore, and they just wanted to be what they wanted to be. Selfish. Tell me, how does that make those characters more likable? How do you become more invested in those characters knowing that they're acting so selfishly and putting thousands of lives in danger because they just don't feel like it no more? Not only were they lacking in personality, but apparently they were lacking in empathy as well. While on the subject of characters, many of the characters from the original film are so out of character that it was painful to watch. Like, Mulan is so lovey-dovey throughout the entire film. She's like head over heels for General Shang, and I'm like, where did this come from? In the original film, Mulan wanted nothing to do with love. She was all about honor and family. That's all she was focused on. There was never a moment where she was very womanly or she was wanting love. Hell, the relationship that she shared with Shang was of mutual respect, not of like this lust or this love. They respected each other. They weren't like in love with each other. But that's not the issue I'm addressing here. I don't mind that Mulan and Shang have a romantic relationship here in the sequel. In fact, I actually really dug it. I felt like they worked very well as a romantic couple. The issue that I have here is that they betray everything that Mulan stood for as a character in order to make this romance work. They changed her from being a girl that's all about honor, duty, and family into this girl that's just gonna go head over heels and, you know, follow your heart because that's what really is important, when she was never that character to begin with. Go watch the original Mulan. You will see that I'm right. She was all about her family and honor. Not about lovey-dovey things and falling head over heels over the cutest guy in the village. And that goes double for Shang. He does some really idiotic things throughout this film, all for the purpose of being in love with Mulan. Like, there's this one scene where Mulan is about to marry this other guy, and he comes in and throws a freaking ninja star right between Mulan and the other guy. And keep in mind, this other guy is royalty, so he basically attempted to attack royalty, and he's just like, I'm in love with that girl, she is mine. Shang would never do something like that. Similar to Mulan, Shang is a man of honor. He thinks logically. He doesn't let his emotions get the better of him. There is a very pivotal scene in the first film where Shang is seeing the wasted army of his father and his father's helmet lying on the ground. He doesn't start breaking down and crying or even vowing revenge against the Huns for doing this. No, he continues on his mission because that's what he was ordered to do. He does not let his emotions get the better of him. So to see Shang, this man of honor who doesn't let his emotions get the better of him, charge into a royal wedding to stop it by throwing a ninja star at royalty, that just doesn't make sense. It goes against the established character. It betrays everything that he stood for in the first film. And yes, I can compare this film to the first film as it is the sequel to the first film. You gotta stay true to the character, especially given the fact that this is only a month after the first Mulan ends. A month! I have never seen people's behaviors change that fast before. But probably the most despicable change to a character in this entire film was Mushu. And I'm not talking about the voice actor being changed, although he did a really excellent job at impersonating Eddie Murphy's voice. Like, if you didn't tell me that wasn't Eddie Murphy, I would have thought that was Eddie Murphy. That's how great this voice actor did. In fact, he's probably the best thing about the film. His character, on the other hand, it really made me angry. They made Mushu come off as this really selfish prick who was trying to get between Mulan and Shang's relationship by any means necessary. Mushu is not like that. There is never a moment in the first film where Mushu displays selfish characteristics. In fact, it's the complete opposite. He's always looking out for Mulan, doing stuff for Mulan. He cared unconditionally for her as her guardian should. So why would the character pull a 180 only a month after all the stuff they already went through? What, for a pedestal? Really? Mushu would have never done something like that. It goes against his character. Honestly, all these new traits that the characters display in the film just felt forced in to give purpose to this otherwise lackluster story that shouldn't have happened to begin with. Not to mention how nothing in this film ever felt earned. Like, the characters just never earned the happy endings or the romances that they got. In fact, you should just retitle this film Deus Ex Machina the movie, because none of these characters would have gotten the endings or the romances they got if it hadn't been for some Deus Ex Machina that made everything fine. We're okay, everyone can be happy now. Overall, Mulan 2 brought dishonor to the first film, and it should be ashamed of itself. Okay, last one, Tarzan 2. Besides the fact that its title is incredibly misleading, as this isn't really a sequel, it's more of a prequel as it's telling the story of a young Tarzan, but other than that, I mean, it's okay. I liked what they explored in the film, showing Tarzan as a young boy feeling like he doesn't fit in because everyone else is a gorilla and he's a human. I like that they explored that element, but overall, the story just never really captivated me. I wasn't really all that interested in it, and it could be due to the fact that Tarzan wasn't really my favorite Disney movie growing up. I mean, I like the music, I loved like all the action scenes, but I never really cared much for the story or the characters, really. And this film's pretty much the same thing, you know, animation was pretty good. Compared to all the other Disney sequels on this list, this is the one that had the best animation. But other than that, I'm just like, why was this made? Like, why even call it Tarzan 2 again? It's not a sequel, it's a prequel. It just didn't make sense to me, and I just was like, blah with it. That's all that really needs to be said about Tarzan 2. Oh, I was happy to hear George Carlin in this movie. It was very surprising to hear him in a Disney film after all the stuff that he's done in his life. It doesn't really make sense why he would be in a Disney film. But then again, he was in Cars, but he was playing like a hippie car. I'm overanalyzing it. Overall, Tarzan 2 is... okay, and that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the fourth and final installment to this impromptu BCG Disney Week miniseries. Man, I can't believe this turned into a miniseries. I've not done that before on this channel. Man, you guys are just getting so much content for BCG Disney Week. I hope you really enjoy them, and I hope you're thankful for them. After all, it is Thanksgiving, right? But let me know what you guys thought about the sequels that were featured in this video, and also the other sequels that were featured in the other videos. And of course, stay tuned for more BCG Disney Week videos. And until they come out, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you what in a second, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.